For several weeks now, Reddit has been sliding into the DMs of its users to share with everybody their DSP, Direct Share Program. In other words, Reddit wants to invite its users into their IPO. And I, for one, am not going to participate in this, but I'm going to be a very entertained viewer to take a look at the degeneracy that's about to unfold. I mean, just take a look at what the CEO has to say here.
Well, first of all, look, I love Wall Street Bets. I'm a user. I've seen their comments over the last couple of weeks, so I just send them my regards.
The degeneracy stops here. Right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the share. And within 2 trading days, the share price is already cratered. Right. Yeah, on to the analysis. Okay, so Reddit is a social media platform with over 100,000 active communities that discuss various topics. Specifically, 73 million plus daily active users, bots. Daily active users and bots. So that's one of the issues that I had with Reddit. It's hard for me to determine how many are actually users and how many are bots. And specifically what gives me pause here is Reddit's been a company for 19 years and they've had very steady growth in their users, but until recently we suddenly see this 27% increase in users, and specifically with how hyped AI is right now, I do wonder how many of those new users are actually bots. That said, Reddit shares are currently valued at $46 a share, and that puts their market cap at around $7 billion. Let's take a look at some of the business metrics. So 98% of Reddit's revenue comes from ads. So this is ads business. And specifically, when you take a look at Reddit, you see that their marketing and their R&D are quite high. So the main question you have to ask here as a prospective investor is, can Reddit translate that revenue into actual profits? One interesting thing here is under one of their future monetization strategies, they talk about data licensing. Specifically, Reddit has already made a deal with Google to sell some of their user data to help with Google's AI model training. So the contract is worth $60 million per year, and honestly, it seems like a lot of this revenue should go into the bottom line. So this seems like a pretty good deal for Reddit. So we'll see how that actually materializes. Aside from that, the legacy business is just ads business as usual. So specifically, I have a couple of numbers to look at here. Reddit's quarterly global ARPU, average revenue per user, is at $3.42. Comparing that with some of the closer peers, Pinterest at $2 and Facebook at $13.12. So the thesis here has to be, if you're going to be an investor, that they're going to continue increasing this number. Regarding the macro environment, if you believe that the economy is going to speed up, which generally means that ad spending will speed up, then around 2025 plus, then you do have a bull case here. All right, let's take a look at the risks of the company. We're going to test the moat. So it has to be said, some of the largest subreddits are going to be the not safe for work NSFW subreddits. This being an advertising business, I do wonder how these two will clash and play along with each other. For example, I imagine that some advertisers would be very hesitant to use Reddit because they would not want their product to be placed next to something that may potentially be negative or objectionable. So then there's this idea that if Reddit tries to clean up its platform, it may lose a lot of its users because a lot of its users are on those not safe for work communities. And then there's also the question of how they're going to increase their ARPU, their average revenue per user. This being an ads business right now, you have to kind of compare it to some of the other peers. Namely, I'm looking at YouTube being super successful with how they've increased their amount of ads that they've had. They've also increased the amount of people that want to go onto YouTube Premium, myself being a happy user as well. So then the question here to ask is, would you pay for Reddit? I use Reddit every single day, and honestly, I don't think I would pay for Reddit. So that's something else to take into account, because you have to ask, can Reddit increase the revenue per user without alienating people and flooding the platform with ads? Next, this is a Californian tech company, so of course those companies are generally famous for stock-based compensation. And finally, the main risk for me me is the fact that this company has been operating for 19 years, and you have to ask yourself, when is the profitability coming? With all those things, let's go ahead and talk about a valuation. And that's a little bit misleading from me because I honestly don't think I can put a valuation on this company at this current point in time. There's not enough data. And because the company just IPO'd, generally companies may change their behavior after IPO. So I want to take a look at the company a little bit longer and see how they behave before I make any sort of valuation. The main thing for me to look at is I want to see how the management team handles increasing their average revenue per user, because there's so many ways that they could flop doing this. So because of the uncertainty, when I'm doing an analysis like this, I don't think I can put a valuation. I think if you are going to put a valuation, you have to put a massive discount so that you can have some sort of margin of safety. In addition, Reddit, you can consider that a sin company. And the reason why I bring this up is because you got companies such as Rick, which deals with adult clubs, tobacco companies, marijuana companies. These companies, they are generally trading at a discount because a lot of investors don't want to get involved in these companies, rightfully so. So looking at this as a sin company, you may want to put another discount onto this. So overall, I say that this company is currently too difficult for me to evaluate, so it's just a wait and see for me. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead and leave in the comment section below if you would invest in Reddit and why or why not.